Hello everyone. I am Amit, and I would like you to I would like to welcome you to panel discussion on Sulekhan 2022. We have some esteemed guests in our panel, and I will begin with introducing each one of them. Firstly, we have Achyut Palav ji. Achyut Palav, the master calligrapher, is considered the father of modern Indian calligraphy. An alumnus of Sir J.J. Institute of Applied Arts, Mumbai, Achyut sir was trained by many early masters like Professor Achyut Joshi and German calligrapher Professor Werner Schneider. He established the calligraphy school. His love for Indian scripts motivated him to conceptualize and execute many ventures like Calligraphy Roadways and CalliFest, India's first ever calligraphy festival. Through his incredibly beautiful calligraphy creation, Achyut Palav has inspired generations of youngsters to take up calligraphy as profession. As a designer, he has made significant landmark in history through the creative fusion of calligraphic beauty in a commercial space of advertising and graphic design. He is also the founder of Achyut Palav School of Calligraphy in Navi Mumbai and established CalliHunt Award for Excellence of Calligraphy. Both are the first of its kind in India. He conducts demonstrations and lectures in various design and art institutions around the world. He is also an adjunct professor at the IDC School of Design, IIT Bombay. His works have been executed around the world. He created a video on Jana Gana Mana based on our national anthem, in which the lines of the anthem were written in 15 calligraphers in 15 Indian languages. This unique event, first of its kind in India, was dedicated to the nation on 15th August 2020. Next on the panel, we have Raghunita Gupta. Raghunita Gupta is a renowned calligrapher based in New Delhi. She is the founder and chairperson of the Calligraphy Foundation of India and the chief organizer of Akshar Mahotsav, an offline event which is going to be held tomorrow at Delhi Technological University campus in Delhi. She conducts courses, workshops, and exhibitions on calligraphy around the globe. Next in the panel, we have Hiral Bhagat. She is a renowned calligrapher based in Ahmedabad, an alumnus of CN College of Fine Arts and Achyut Palav School of Calligraphy. Ms. Hiral works extensively in many Indian languages, notably Gujarati. She has conducted calligraphy workshops and exhibitions all over the world. She was invited for the first virtual international conference on the Silk Road Calligraphy by Iranian National Commission for UNESCO to present Gujarati calligraphy artwork and research paper in 2020. Next in the panel, we have Dilbag Singh. Dilbag Singh is one of the most notable calligraphers of the current generation. With a huge amount of followers on Instagram, Dilbag has carved a very exclusive niche with his beautiful calligraphy work with a wonderful aptitude for experiments. His experiments stand out as important milestones in liberating oneself from the age-old conventions on material tools and styles. He is an alumnus of NIMT Kangra, and he is currently based in Bhopal. Next, we have Professor Tarun Deep Girdher. Professor Tarun is activity chairperson, education, and principal designer in the graphic design discipline at NID Ahmedabad. He received his master's degree from NID in 1997 and has more than 24 years of consolidated experience in design education, professional design practice, and academic governance. At NID, he teaches important courses such as type design, typography, printing technology, illustration, visual narratives, and environmental perception for both bachelor's and master's students. Professor Tarun has designed more than 24 publications and a large number of symbols and logos, including Right to Information RTI and none of the above NOTA for Government of India. His logos for Cluster University of Jammu and Srinagar have been awarded the 9th Worlda 2018. Professor Tarun is also the co-founder of the Typography Society of India. Next, we have Professor V Sreekumar. Professor V Sreekumar is professor and former head of IDC School of Design, IIT Bombay. His area of specialization include typography, calligraphy, publication design, information graphics, design pedagogy, and visual semantics. During his Masters of Design program at IDC, IIT Bombay, he was trained by renowned typographer and calligrapher Professor R.K. Joshi. Since 2000, he has been a faculty member at IDC, IIT Bombay, as well as a design consultant with many corporate houses. Before joining the alma mater IIT Bombay, he worked for several publication houses, including the Times of India Group, Indian Express Group, Jasubhai Digital Media, etc. He has designed some of the most renowned magazines in India, including Chip, Digit, Chanda Mama, Overdrive, Society, Savvy, Banking Frontiers, etc. Professor Sreekumar is the founder of the Typography Society of India. I welcome everyone.
Thank you for the introduction.
So we'll start with the first round of questions. And the first question we have is, according to you, what is the future of calligraphy in India? And I would like to invite Raghunita ma'am first for her verdict on the question. Over to you, ma'am.
Hi, hello everyone. I'm Raghunita and the chairperson of the Calligraphy Foundation. Calligraphy का जो सिनेरियो है कोविड के टाइम में काफी चेंज हुआ और वो सिनेरियो जो चेंज हुआ काफी सारे बडिंग कैलीग्राफर्स को लेकर आया. आई एम ऑल्सो वन ऑफ देम जो कोविड के टाइम पे काफी एक्टिव रही कैलीग्राफी को लेकर और काफी स्टडी किया अलग अलग एंगल से, अलग अलग मास्टर्स के साथ, अलग अलग लोगों से बात करने के बाद जब हम बात करते हैं फ्यूचर ऑफ कैलीग्राफी की, तो आज के सिनेरियो को हम ध्यान में रखते हुए जब हम आगे बढ़ते हैं तो सबसे पहली चीज आती है कि कैसे हम कैलीग्राफी की अवेयरनेस के ऊपर वर्क करेंगे फर्दर. तो जब हमने फाउंडेशन के साथ में इस चीज को आगे बढ़ाया तो पहली चीज हमारे दिमाग में ये आई थी कि लोग पहले हमसे जाने कि कैलीग्राफी है क्या. वो ये क्वेश्चन ना पूछे कि सीधा कि कैलीग्राफी क्या, कैलीग्राफी एक क्वेश्चन आता है कि क्या कैलीग्राफी, क्यों करते हैं हम कैलीग्राफी. उस चीज को ध्यान में रखते हुए जैसे जैसे हमने आगे बढ़ना स्टार्ट किया, देयर वर मेनी थिंग्स जो हमारे दिमाग में आई जिनको हमने अलग अलग एंगल पे चेंज करने की कोशिश की अपने तरीके से एंड एक कम्युनिटी बिल्ड किया. एंड जो कम्युनिटी बिल्ड किया उसमें अप्रॉक्सीमेट 22 कैली चैप्टर्स बनाए जिसमें हमने अप्रॉक्सीमेट 800 प्लस कैलीग्राफर से हम इसके थ्रू जुड़े. जो 800 कैलीग्राफर से हम जुड़े उसमें हमें पता चला कि क्या प्रॉब्लम्स है हमारे एरिया में, क्या प्रॉब्लम्स है जिन पे हमें वर्क करना है और कैसे हम इसको फ्यूचर की तरफ लेके जा सकते हैं. जब हम फ्यूचर की तरफ लेके जाने की बात करते हैं तो हमें जो पहला सबसे बड़ा फील्ड नजर आता है दैट इज एकेडमिक. कैसे हम एकेडमिक के थ्रू इसको आगे लेके जाएंगे. हमेशा कोई भी कम्युनिटी होती है, जब एक साथ कम्युनिटी आगे बढ़ती है तो लोग उसको एक्सेप्ट करते हैं, एज अ कम्युनिटी उसको एक्सेप्ट करते हैं. तो पहली चीज हमारे साथ जो आती है कम्युनिटी, एंड थ्रू दी फाउंडेशन वी कुड बिल्ड दिस. एंड एकेडमिक के थ्रू करने के लिए वी ट्राइड कि हम अक्षर महोत्सव जो हमने प्लान किया है फाउंडेशन के थ्रू हम उसको आगे लेकर के जाएं. अक्षर महोत्सव के थ्रू हमें एकेडमिक के थ्रू काफी अच्छा रिस्पांस मिला इन न्यू दिल्ली एंड ऑल ओवर इंडिया. सो अप्रॉक्सीमेट 200 प्लस कैलीग्राफर्स आर कमिंग फ्रॉम ऑल ओवर इंडिया. अक्रॉस इंडिया से 200 लोग अप्रॉक्सीमेट आ रहे हैं इसके लिए, जो कि एक काफी बड़ी उपलब्धि है एक नई फाउंडेशन के लिए जो कि अभी सिर्फ शुरू हुई है. और एक बहुत इसमें एक इंटरेस्टिंग पॉइंट है कि 11 दिसंबर 2021 को हमने इसका फाउंडेशन डे किया था एंड एग्जैक्ट 9 months बाद वी आर कमिंग अप विद अ बेबी दैट इज अक्षर महोत्सव. एग्जैक्ट 9 months. सो जैसा कि हम फाउंडेशन के थ्रू इस चीज को देख पा रहे हैं, जिस तरह से हमें रिस्पांस मिला इस बीच में, एकेडमिक्स इज समथिंग. अगर सभी लोग अपने अपने एरियाज में एकेडमिक के थ्रू इस पर वर्क करना स्टार्ट करेंगे दे विल गेट गुड रिस्पांस. एंड उसके अलावा बाकी हमारे डिजाइन टीम के लोग हैं, डिजाइन फील्ड के लोग हैं, दे आर कंप्लीटली अ बैकबोन फॉर अस. तो जब हम लोग आगे बढ़ेंगे तो जो उन लोगों की नॉलेज, उन लोगों का जो साथ है हमारे साथ में जो आगे चलने वाला है, वो काफी फ्यूचर ऑफ कैलीग्राफी को काफी जगह देगा जो हम लोग जिस एंगल से हम लोग देख पाते हैं इस चीज को. सो दिस इज समथिंग जो फाउंडेशन के थ्रू वी आर गोइंग टू रिप्रेजेंट इन नियर फ्यूचर. इसके अलावा काफी सारी मल्टीपल स्क्रिप्ट्स हैं जिनके ऊपर काम नहीं हुआ है. एंड इन लास्ट 1.5 year हमें अपॉर्चुनिटी मिली कि हम बहुत सारे ऐसे कैलीग्राफर्स से मिले जो कि हमें अलग अलग स्क्रिप्ट्स, ऐसी स्क्रिप्ट्स जैसे ओए चिक्की कोई जानता ही नहीं है, लोग बात ही नहीं करते हैं उसके बारे में। हड़प्पन स्क्रिप्ट, वी गॉट पीपल जो इस बारे में बात भी कर रहे हैं, जो इनके ऊपर काम भी कर रहे हैं। So one of the founder of our foundation, Abhishek Vardhan Singh, has taken some steps, and he's a student who is doing PhD in arts. So arts, in the sense, he's working on stone art. So basically, he's studying all these arts for calligraphy thing कि हम कैसे इन चीजों को और आगे लेके जाने वाले हैं. So we have good vision, I mean, for this कि शायद आने वाले टाइम में फाउंडेशन के थ्रू हम कुछ ऐसे स्टेप्स ले पाए जो आने वाले टाइम में जितना भी हम लोगों के कलेक्टिव एफर्ट्स, जो पाल एफर्ट्स हैं, जो जीवी सर के एफर्ट्स हैं, हम सब मिलकर के कुछ एक ऐसा क्रिएट करें कि वर्ल्ड लेवल पे जब हम कैलीग्राफी की, इंडियन कैलीग्राफी की बात करें, तो हम सब मिलकर एक होता है ना भारत को रिप्रेजेंट करें और एक अलग एक इसका एक इम्पैक्ट क्रिएट हो, और फ्यूचर में हम इसको अलग अलग तरीके से अलग अलग कमर्शियल मार्केट में, एकेडमिक्स में और हर जगह देखें. थैंक यू सो मच.
Thank you so much. I think you mentioned a really great point about the academic, and I will move to the next speaker, Dilbag ji, and I would like to hear his views that if academics were a part of his calligraphy journey, and the academics were the reason he started calligraphy journey. Over to you, Dilbag.
Good evening to everyone, and on the occasion of World Calligraphy Day, I would like to wish you everyone happy calligraphy Divas, Sulekhan Divas. So to me calligraphy happened during calligraphy जिसको मैं कहूँगा, ये लॉकडाउन के टाइम पे हुआ. इनिशियली जो मेरा एजुकेशन रहा है डिज़ाइन बैकग्राउंड में रहा है, सो मैंने एज अ फैशन डिज़ाइन मैं एज ए ग्रेजुएट हुआ हूँ फ्रॉम NIFT. सो हमारे कॉलेज के टाइम पे देयर वाज नो फॉर्मल एजुकेशन इन कैलीग्राफी. सो कम्युनिकेशन स्टूडेंट्स को हमारे पास टाइपोग्राफी की क्लासेस होते थे, तो समवेयर वहाँ से मेरा इंक्लिनेशन हुआ टुवर्ड्स कैलीग्राफी. Not calligraphy, I don't even know the term calligraphy before 2014. So मुझे नहीं पता था. कैलीग्राफी मेरे लिए ऐसा था कि सुंदर लिखना या वॉट एवर एम राइटिंग, हैंड राइटिंग इज कैलीग्राफी. सो मुझे ऐसा लगता है जो बेसिक इंफॉर्मेशन है अभी राइट नाउ इन इंडिया, बहुत सारे लोगों को ये क्लैरिटी हो चुकी है इस लेवल पे. सो विद इन 2 और 2.5 ईयर बहुत रैपिड ग्रोथ हुआ है अंडरस्टैंडिंग, बेसिक अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ कैलीग्राफी. सो इसके आगे मैं ऐसा समझता हूँ कि जैसे रघुनीता जी ने कहा कि एकेडमिक्स का रोल होना चाहिए इसमें, विच इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. एंड आई वुड अप्रिशिएट एंड इवन GV sir and Hiral ma'am, Achyut sir and Tarun sir to start this Typography Society of India, where I met so many people who are practicing calligraphy and typography at very great level. तो मैं ऐसा समझता हूँ कि इसको ग्रास रूट लेवल पे करना चाहिए. सो जो अक्षर हैं, लेटर फॉर्म्स हैं, सो हम इसे सीरियस ना लेके एक बेसिक अगर हम स्कूल्स में इनको इंट्रोड्यूस करें, तो जैसे अभी निफ्ट है, निफ्ट ने कैलीग्राफी मॉड्यूल इंट्रोड्यूस किया है, आई गेस 2 इयर्स बैक इन्होंने इंट्रोड्यूस किया है. सो ये बहुत ही हमारे एजुकेशन सिस्टम में बहुत लेटर इंट्रोड्यूस हो रहा है. तो इसको इतना लेट ना शुरू करके अगर हम पहले शुरू करेंगे तो मेरे ख्याल से वो ज़्यादा इम्पैक्ट कर सकता है टूवर्ड्स अंडरस्टैंडिंग. एंड जैसे ही हमारी कम्युनिटीज़ हैं, बाहर की कम्युनिटीज़ हैं और देशों की कम्युनिटीज़ हैं जो कैलीग्राफी के थ्रू एक्सप्रेस कर रहे हैं, अलग अलग मीडियम्स एक्सप्लोर कर रहे हैं, उसको कैलीग्राफी ना होते भी आर्ट फॉर्म की तरह भी ट्रीट कर रहे हैं, तो वो थोड़ा सा एक जो कनेक्शन है वो थोड़ा लैक करता है हमारे एजुकेशन सिस्टम में यहाँ पे. सो अगर वहाँ पे हम उसको पिंच करते हैं, इंट्रोड्यूस करते हैं कैलीग्राफी लेटर फॉर्म एक्सप्लोरेशंस को, तो मेरे ख्याल से बहुत अच्छा इम्पैक्ट हो सकता है. Thank you.
Great to hear from you. Thank you so much, Dilbag. Next, I would ask Hiral ma'am to share her views. I would like her to also speak about how the experience was for the virtual conference of the Silk Road Calligraphy by Iranian National Commission. I am sure she might have met a lot of people across the world and how they are seeing the future of calligraphy. if you could like share some light on that.
Yeah, hello everyone. Yeah, that experience was wonderful. And since they have targeted Iranian and Silk Road countries, so there were more Arabic and Urdu calligrapher. Very few, I think, very few Indian calligrapher as well as Latin Roman calligrapher was there. And when I see their work, sometimes I miss we can also do wonderful creation with calligraphy. And especially I'm always amazed to see Arabic calligrapher and Chinese calligrapher, because I think they don't write, they create image. And in that only I am seeing future of calligraphy. Now everyone knows about what is calligraphy. And see, what was the basic earlier? The role of calligraphy is to write, to give any message. Now, because of digital media and because of graphic designing and typography, that part has taken. So now they don't require calligrapher to write any message. Now types are available online. So now it should go into visual art. So it's not always readable and legible. It should be image. It should be illegible. It can feel rather than read. There should be tension between reading and seeing. When one viewer come to see your calligraphy, it should disturb them. Your letter form should disturb. There should be difference between typography and calligraphy. What typographer are writing, that same way you are writing and giving message, then there is no difference. You need to break that difference. I am reading right now one German calligrapher's book, and I am very much amazed from one American calligrapher called Thomas Ingmeyer. And the book I'm reading is Calligraphic Line, whose name is Hans Joachim Burgett. So what I just jot down some points from his book. He says calligraphy can exist as something that is felt rather than something that is to be read. He says invent in new forms, means what you are writing. Suppose if you are writing k, so everyone knows what is k, what is kh, but you need to create some different form of k. Give some image. Try to use drawing principles in your calligraphy. It's not necessary that you always write with your calligraphy pen. You can write with oil paint brush also. Then you can create new form, new language altogether. Then he says calligraphy means to be seen, not read. This is the future of calligraphy. Calligraphy should disturb the viewers. And calligraphy casts a spell on the viewers by its forms. Take them further away from the text. That is the future of calligraphy. We are not inviting people to read as a calligrapher. That I am firmly believer, and I am working on this. When you write, you should see the spirit, the soul, the touch of the calligraphy, not the pure letter form. It should be illegible, not legible. Because legible part, typographers are doing very well. Why we need to repeat this? No. So better you create image, create expression, and more with the regional script, not Latin always. Your own regional, your own mother tongue. That is my viewpoint. Thank you. Right.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It's a very, very interesting viewpoint. Next, I would move to Tarun sir. And I am pretty sure throughout his career, he has came across a lot of calligrapher who essentially was his students. And I would like to know how how it has changed throughout this entire time. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much, Amit, and a very, very good evening to all of you viewers who are, who have joined us today on the occasion of International Calligraphy Day. Sulekhan दिवस की बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं आप सभी को. I feel honored and privileged to be sharing the, I can't say the dais, but sharing the screen with all these illustrious I won't call them practitioner of calligraphers, but I would call them these illustrious people who are at heart lovers of letter forms.
Yeah.
That love for letter form is the single most guiding thing which is, sort of compelling their soul to do whatever they are doing. So I have got the good fortune of, knowing, interacting, reading, understanding from many such people. Some of them we lost to COVID also, God bless their soul, who shared a common love for letter forms in whichever form it was, whether it was ink on paper, whether it was pixels on the screen, or whether it was ink on metal and metal on paper kind of a thing. But I just wanted to quickly, take all of you guys through my own personal understanding of what is going to be the future of calligraphy. And why are we discussing what the future of calligraphy should be? Because I think all of us agree that the future of calligraphy is very, very bright.
Yes.
And more number of people are going to start practicing calligraphy in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, as compared to the number of people who've been practicing calligraphy 10 years earlier, right? But before I talk about the future, let me just take you through a quick recap, because it's important to understand the past, what happened, and as Hiral had also pointed out, that calligraphy as we know today started off as a very, very important skill in those selected few people who were also known as scribes, who would write all these official documents, right? And then, of course, because of religious practices and all, they used to make copies of manuscripts, and in different parts of the world, these scribes used to write in their own style, and that evolved into different kind of styles as we know today, whether it is round hand, whether it is uncial, whether it is italics, or whatever it is. And then, of course, the technology, economics, all these wars, I'm talking about the 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th century, all these advancements, the kind of political things which were changing across the world, not only in India, but also in Europe, we had what is known as the metal type. So creating artifacts on paper, which have letter forms on paper, new processes, us time ka to wo, that was the modern technology of that time, right? Because it became so much more easier to make copies of a particular manuscript or a book. And then I'll just skip to the, as is trending, I'll skip to the good part of the digital era. The computer started coming in, and the computer started becoming powerful at one level and smaller at another level. So our mobiles are also some kind of computers, right? We are processing it, we are consuming a lot of information. So if we look at the last 10 to 12 years, a lot of communication material which had text. Let's focus on the text because we are talking about calligraphy and the words and the letter forms. Because of the digital technology and the way it democratized the creation of any printed page, everybody who had computer or a basic software was creating layouts and was trying to create communication using letter forms. That the things around us started to become very homogeneous. They all started appearing to be the same thing. they all started looking similar to each other. Yeah. And that is where the communication which was created started to lose its own individuality, started to lose its own individual visual character. And as very rightly, pointed out by Raghunita ji, Dilbag and Hiral also, that COVID, what happened during the COVID, it is very, very important for all of us to realize that. We were doing our work on the computer, we were attending school on the computer, we were communicating with our family members also on the screen. Our source of entertainment was also on the screen. That world over, people started looking at what are the kind of things which we can do without the computer. And that really witnessed a strong revival of calligraphy. ऐसी बात नहीं है कि calligraphy wasn't there around us. It was there.
Yeah.
But in the schools, it wasn't encouraged. All schools, many students have to prepare their project works and submit, right? How many of them hand draw or do the lettering by hand on the covers? No, they all take a computer printout. And from a teacher's perspective, everybody's cover started to look the same. But one child who has done something, hand lettering kara usne, so then it stands out. So continuing with that, I think what the last 3 years have done is brought together all the like-minded people. Now, of course, technology played a very, very important role in bringing all of us like-minded people together, people who share a common love for letter forms. Not all of them are practitioners. Some of them are motivators. Some of them are supporters in terms of, more and more people have started looking at what kind of tools, what kind of workshops and things like that. So I personally feel that the future of calligraphy is going to be very, very bright, because everybody, whether we look at it from an individual or whether we look at it from a corporate's perspective, people want to stand out. And there is going to be a very, very conscious visual design decision to not to use a computer typeface for exclusive things, for special things, right? I mean, look at some of these top bakeries, no? They have classes for their salesmen. Okay, if somebody wants to buy a cake and requests you to write happy birthday, you better know how your letter forms should be, right? So people are taking, what is it? It is an extension of calligraphy, right? People are expecting a exclusive experience wherever they go, right? And that exclusivity will come only when we are looking at something which is created by hand and not by machine. There is another conversation about this, that how artificial intelligence can, take over what we know as calligraphy today. But that is a conversation for another time, maybe 2 years down the line, yeah, thank you.
Everyone wants personal touch.
Thank you, Tarun sir. Like Jake Whiteman once said, this decade has been a era called the Renaissance of calligraphy.
Absolutely.
And some of the points, like you said, yeah, it's absolutely is. I will move to Achyut sir, and like Tarun sir once pointed some of the commercial application of calligraphy, and who better to ask Achyut sir about it. And I would like to know his perspective of how this has changed across time and how he sees the future application of commercial type calligraphy. Over to you, Achyut sir.
I am not able to talk too much because of my lot of problems. Yeah, but for me, commercial application या commercial calligraphy, see the हर जगह पे जब हम लोग जाते हैं तभी यही होता है कि lot of people are doing the calligraphy, but nobody is serious about the commercial things. They are doing every day. They are doing the practice. But what about the communication? What about the commercial way? And वो उसकी जरूरत है, बहुत important है, because I'm telling you, 3 months back, I conduct one workshop for Russian people. They ask me, is it possible, can you conduct one workshop on Devanagari? I say, why you're doing the Devanagari? They say, we are doing a lot of work on Devanagari. They want to conduct one workshop, they want to conduct one exhibition in India as well as Russia. After 3 months, they did a really wonderful job. And then I realized why, agar German people, Russian people are doing, Russian students are doing good work, then why not Indian people are doing? So the approach is very important, which is not in our student. And that's why create new things. Reading is important, communication is important, to talk with the different people, to talk with the, like, one more example that is I'm giving that in entire pandemic, I did one work with the Gulzar's poem. Almost 19 people was there and 15 people was just, they are doing a bankers, IT profession like that. Once the book is complete, then Gulzar asked me, Achyut, ये काम किसने किया? तो मैंने बोला कि ये सारे लोग हैं वो, they are not a calligrapher, but they understand the concept, they understand the words, they understand the feelings, they understand the emotion. And once you understand all these things, then I think calligraphy is not important. You can create naturally. And ऐसे ही काम अगर हम लोग करेंगे ना, और तो मेरे ख्याल से प्रोफेशनली वो ज्यादा सक्सेसफुल हो जाएगा. To create one logo, then that's why you are a good calligrapher. It's not like that. To work, because see, luckily we have a lot of literature. We have a lot of scope for the language script, but we can't see that together. So that's why I request to all the people, if it is possible, you take it seriously. Future is bright. Future is not a problem. आप काम करोगे तो काम को अच्छे जस्टिफाई मिलने वाला ही है. बट अगर काम नहीं दोगे तो हम लोग ऐसे ही डिस्कशन करते रहेंगे. तो मुझे आई थिंक यू टेक इट, दोज हु आर रियली इंटरेस्टेड इन कैलिग्राफी एज अ करियर, थोड़ा सा वो कमर्शियल टच देने की जरूरत है, ऐसा मुझे लग रहा है. थैंक यू.
Thank you so much, sir.
Nice.
Next, I will move to Professor Sreekumar, and I would like to know his academician's point of view of, like, one of the points that came across throughout the decision is how technology evolved, and one of the important part in calligraphy is documentation, be it digital calligraphy or be it the original style of calligraphy. So I would like to know Professor Sreekumar's view. How have you seen change in documentation process? Like, is it very important, or how do you see the future of this? What do you see?
Thank you, Amit. Namaste, everyone. I am delighted to speak in this auspicious day of World Calligraphy Day. And I'm very proud that we are celebrating this Sulekhan 2022. For documentation, Amit, is just one of the things, you know. So it is, in a way, it is important that whatever work I do, I keep that recorded and, you know, share it with other generations, and especially for the future. But the main thing is about how do you look at calligraphy. So I feel there is much more than whatever we have seen or whatever we have experienced. Is just not even nowhere near the tip of the iceberg. So Achyut Palav sir, he organizes this festival for CalliFest. I think it was the first or second. I mean, he had invited me as a speaker many times. I think it was the first one. In my talk there, I explained something which everybody was very surprised to hear, that the therapy, the psychological aspect of calligraphy, you know, I find this whole thing very meditative. So there I explained that calligraphy is one of those rare occasions where you dip that pen or a brush or a nib in ink. And then you lift it till you finish the stroke. No? Your mind is totally hollow and empty. That time you don't think about what is going to be my salary next month, or when did I park my car, or what is my child doing. No, you are totally in. I feel my observation is it is absolute bliss. The moment you take a tool in your hand and you dip it in ink until you finish that stroke, and that feeling of the nib or a brush touching that paper or what surface, and the interaction between them, and the way you control your stroke till the ink lasts, all that, it's very meditative. Then I asked a lot of people and a lot of practicing professionals in calligraphy. They all mentioned that yes, we feel something like that, but we didn't think about the concept of this absolute bliss and being meditative. So I started studying this a lot, and you can notice that the moment you work on this activity for a while, the mind settles down, your body, it affects your body, and you feel very different. And if you look carefully at the eyes of all these calligraphers, the eyes have a different sparkle. So recently I was listening to some talks. Raghunita had done a series of very interesting interviews in Instagram. She had interviewed a lot of calligraphers. So one of them, Prabh Simmer, she was telling her about the same thing, that you look carefully, sab calligraphers ka aankh chamakne lagta hai. So I think that is all because of this meditative aspect, Parameshwar Raju sir has also mentioned in his interview on YouTube that there is a meditative value to it. So I see calligraphy being seen from so many different angles, not only as an art form or a commercial value, but into this kind of yoga, meditation, and also as a bridge between the person who teaches a student how to write letters. In the school, you might have seen, all of you have seen that, in the first standard, we are taught how to write a letter form. But they are not calligraphers, but I feel now calligraphy as a bridge between how to learn a letter, to write a letter, and next step is how to write a letter with joy. That is a bridge calligraphy is going to make. And in design schools, I feel slowly things are changing. When I was a student, very, very few design schools in India taught calligraphy in their regional language. When I was a UG student, very, very few design schools taught Indian language calligraphy, but all of them taught English language calligraphy. I found it very shameful, and I was very proud that my teachers in UG taught me, calligraphy in so many languages. So that was a very interesting thing to learn. So slowly things are changing, and now in 2022, I am very happy to note that a lot of people are working in design education also, Indian language calligraphy. And like Professor Tarun pointed out, in some cases, some places, COVID has become a blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
And COVID is one situation when all of us were fed up with the screen time and we wanted an escape. And naturally, we found that calligraphy is one place where we can switch off the laptop for a while. So I tried out so many of those things in iPad with an Apple Pencil and all that. But the joy came from the nib and the brush and the ink and whatever paper we got. Those days during pandemic, we didn't even get good papers. So whatever papers we got, I did calligraphy on newspapers also. Some papers, that is all we needed. So that, I think, that is going to be the future of calligraphy. We will start seeing calligraphy from so many different angles, not only as an art form or a design tool, but many other things. Yes.
If I may just add here,
Yeah.
Amit, Professor Sreekumar pointed out a very, very important aspect about regional languages. And I think we all have a collective responsibility. And you'd also mentioned tomorrow we have a very big offline event in Delhi, thanks to Raghunita and her, dedicated volunteers. And then in November, we have the Callifest in Surat. But I think all in all, why the future is also bright, because through calligraphy, hundreds of youngsters, at least I can count more than 200 young people who have taken to calligraphy, and they are using the ladder of calligraphy or the path of calligraphy to reconnect with their own cultural identity through the letter forms and scripts of their own mother tongue. And that, I think, I'm getting goosebumps as I said this statement. And
Likewise,
that,
sir.
I think, is one of the most significant things to have happened in our country in the year 21-22. And that is why I am very, very sure that calligraphy, as you said, borrowing your words, we are going through actually a renaissance of calligraphy in India, focusing on our own Indian scripts. And the whole world is watching, because they don't have any other reference to go to. No? That is just one more thing which I wanted to add. Thank you.
Thank you, Tarun. In this context, I want to tell you about, Achyut Palav ji had conceptualized that video on Janagana Mana.
Right.
So, apart from being one of its kind, it was very, very special because he asked each one of us to learn a new language.
Absolutely.
And I have never thought in my wildest dreams that in 7 days I will learn a new language, learn calligraphy in that, then adapt the calligraphic style to meet the requirements of that particular script. So that was something which is a path-breaking attempt that he forced each one of us to look at calligraphy in a different context. And he told me that Kannada is not your mother tongue, but you learn and do this line. He, 15 calligraphers were given one line, and I was given that line, Uchala Jalathidaranga. And in 7 days, I had to learn a new script. Then many calligraphers told me that it was a real great experience of learning something new and then expressing it in another language.
Yeah, that is true, sir. That is true.
Yeah. So,
2 days back,
contributing to national integration. It is a very, very, very unique thing what he has. Yes, Raghu, yeah, you were saying something.
no, sir. I mean, I missed it. Sorry.
I just want to share my experience with Achyut Palav, sir. I started first with Roman, then Devanagari. So I think before 2018, he used to do Callifest, but only with the Roman script and Devanagari. But in 2018, he launched Indian Script Festival, and each one of has to learn our own mother tongue. So the first shock कि अभी इतना टाइम से तो इंग्लिश ही कर रहे हैं, अभी ये भी करना है, it will be more difficult. अभी इंग्लिश में तो सीख लिया spacing, word, ये formation, composition. Again we need to start with our own mother tongue. So I think I am doing Gujarati because of he's only. I can give credit. He has given me this path. Yeah. So thank you, sir.
And I also now I want to share one thing, sir.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, please carry on.
Yeah, sorry, sir. Yeah. So 2 days back, हम लोग भी कुछ ऐसे preparations चल रही है अक्षर महोत्सव की, तो हम लोग भी कुछ कन्नड़ा, तमिल ऐसे कुछ try कर रहे थे, and मतलब I was finding कि कितनी awesome script है ये.
Yeah.
So that feeling is something जो मतलब मेरे को पता नहीं वो क्या letters थे, but they were so beautiful कि मुझे उनके वो circles, मुझे उनके ovals, जो मतलब गुरुमुखी हम लिख रहे हैं, हम कन्नड़ा लिख रहे हैं, मजा आ रहा था कि मतलब I don't know वो languages नहीं पता है, but the letter forms which we are trying, and मतलब the angles which we are getting through that process. तो मजा आ गया, मतलब एक होता ना कि एक लग रहा था कि लोग इस चीज को कैसे जॉय करते होंगे, ये मतलब लोगों को समझ में तब आएगा जब वो एक बार ट्राई करेंगे उस चीज को. तो ये एक बार ट्राई करना बनता है वाला कॉन्सेप्ट हमें लोगों को बोलना पड़ेगा, एक बार तो ट्राई करो पहले.
It is because of our letters are derived from nature, not like Latin script from the graph or grid. That's why it looks more beautiful.
Exactly.
Achyut sir and my guru, Professor R.K. Joshi, on the first day of his class, used to write in all Indian languages on the blackboard.
Correct.
And some assignments he used to tell us, "Ye tumhara mother tongue mein karo." So that was a turning point, So a lot of things we could do. Yeah, please, Amit, go ahead to the next one. We are short of time. So
yes, absolutely.
Maybe in another next question, we'll have to restrict to around 2 minutes per person.
Yeah. Like you were saying, the experience of dipping the nib in ink. I think for many of us, the scratch of a nib on paper would be like a music to our ears.
Yes, literally.
Yes. So, like we are done with the first set of question, and I would move to the second question to the panelist. And the question is, what should be done to encourage the younger generation to learn calligraphy and approach it with the seriousness that calligraphy deserves? And for this, I would like to start with Achyut ji. Over to you, sir.
Actually, to create a seriously workshop for that. It is not 1 day workshop, it is not 2 days or 3 days. Because see, in our school, we are conducting workshop 3-4 days, continuous workshop to understand what is a form, what is a nature, what is a connectivity, what is a communication. एक तो वर्कशॉप में हम लोगों ने ऐसे किया था कि you can try to first read the matter, how you are going to pronounce the word, and then you can write that later. So it was सुबह 9 बजे जो चालू हुआ वर्कशॉप, दूसरे दिन सुबह 6 बजे तक चालू था, continuous. So this is a seriousness. Or when I was working with the R.K. Joshi, under R.K. Joshi, so seriousness क्या होता है, कैसे होता है, how to study the letter, how to influence of any other languages, how to influence of any other script, वो अगर आपको पता चलेगा तो बाद में to develop your form, it is not difficult from that. हम लोगों का यही प्रॉब्लम होता है कि हम लोग 3 दिन के वर्कशॉप में हम लोग यही करते हैं कि चलो आज ABCD हो गया, कल दूसरा कुछ कॉन्सोनेंट्स वोवेल्स वगैरह हो गया वो. It is not like that. You stick with at least 6 months for one script. Work with one script, find out what is the problems, and then go for the next. So मेरे ख्याल से वो अगर काम करेंगे ना, because एक छोटा सा एग्जांपल बता रहा हूँ, because I was working Devanagari and Arabic work together. So if I want to use 2 scripts together, so definitely you have to think that relationship between script, formation, form, and then final is how you are going to utilize on the paper. And वो जब भी गुलजार साहब ने जब भी देखा, उन्होंने मुझे यही कहा कि देवनागरी तो ठीक है, आपने उर्दू किससे लिया है, करके लिया. तो मैंने बोला कि नहीं, मैंने ही किया है. तो वो बोले कि चलो आ जाओ, हम गले मिलते हैं, because he is a master. So ये बात ये है कि इस तरह का अगर हम लोग सीरियसनेस अगर काम करेंगे ना, तो ज्यादा अच्छा रहेगा, ऐसे मुझे लग रहा है. एंड सेकंड थिंग, एक परफेक्ट वर्कशॉप होने के बाद उसका डॉक्यूमेंटेशन होना बहुत जरूरी है. हम लोग जहाँ पे बहुत कम करते हैं, बिकॉज वर्कशॉप इज नॉट अ डॉक्यूमेंटेशन. To create a nice booklet on that workshop, how you find out the form, what is your reaction, क्या आपके problems, क्योंकि I conduct one workshop in Germany. I was working on for 1 month there, teaching there on Devanagari, and then we create a nice वो click, and then they realize कि एक महीने में हम लोगों ने क्या क्या किया है. Same thing I'm doing work with the Russian people also. They are doing the documentation, date wise, form wise, stroke wise. So take it seriously. अगर हम लोगों को बदलाव लाना है तो सिर्फ अकेले वो वर्कशॉप नहीं होना चाहिए. Take it seriously and make the documentation of that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
With your,
Next for this, sorry, sir.
with your permission, I'm taking a rest because I'm not feeling good.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure, sir.
Sorry for everyone. And
No, not at all.
It's
Thank you so
fine,
much.
sir.
Thank you so
Achyut,
much,
for
sir.
Very
joining.
Thank you.
much for-
take
Yes,
care,
sir.
sir.
Take
Take
care,
care,
sir.
sir. Take care.
Take
Thank
care,
you
sir.
very much for your presence.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yes, Amit, please carry on.
Yeah, I would like to continue the discussion on the same question about the seriousness of calligraphy. And I would like to seek the views of Professor Sreekumar. Over to you, sir.
So, it is an interesting point. What can we do to encourage the next generation? I really feel that, catch them young is the best thing. I was saying this for a long time that it should be introduced at least from the 6th or 7th standard. Some works of good calligraphers, how to write a letter form with different tools in each language. We have 22 official scripts and around 13 languages. So 22 official languages and 13 scripts. In each one of them, it should be accessible. So for a student, a school student in India, this thing should be accessible, how to learn calligraphy in that particular mother tongue. I always tell my experience when I was in the 5th standard, one of my teachers, he taught us calligraphy, and the entire classroom, all the walls were filled with posters done by him. Now, when I look back, I realize, oh, it was like first year UG classroom in a design school. So later this teacher became a Swamiji, and I'm in touch with him. So he told me 14 days of training is that what he got. His area is actually a mathematics teacher. So I really feel in the 5th standard out of 50, if one person can become a calligrapher, that is not a bad ratio. 2 out of 100 even. So I really feel time has come that, textbooks should have, and 6th or 7th standard maximum, we should at least tell them what is calligraphy, and if we can get even one calligrapher out of 100, it will be a very good number. And we should not wait for another pandemic to come. We should have this thing as a joyful experience, as something students can enjoy, not for mark or not for a rank, but for something to enjoy. That is, of course, there are a lot of challenges. The government has to find out how to train teachers on this, and all these things are there. But like Raghuji mentioned, that we have chapters in all the states. If we can have chapters in every different parts of each state, and if we can do one workshop in 2 months or 3 months, where everybody, the poorest of the poor and richest of the rich, everybody can afford to attend that and learn just one style of calligraphy, it will be the greatest contribution all of us can do. So there is much more to do, to go to municipal schools, teach them. We need just one tray and some colored sand. That's all we need. We should not say that everybody with an Apple iPad Pro with a Apple Pencil can only learn calligraphy. That should go away. That is my take on it. Amit, you can go ahead to the next one.
Thank you so much, sir. Like, there's a very interesting point about how calligraphy is very accessible to all. Like, it is not bound by tools, and it can be done by many different mediums, many different tools. But continuing with the question, I would like to move to Dilbag Ji and know, like, if tools are something that create interest in you because you explore a lot with tools. And is it something that you think might create some sort of seriousness among people? Like if you have a tool, then you might get very much interested in doing calligraphy. I would like to know your views. Over to you, Dilbag.
It's a really interesting question. So, like I said before, and I would like to say, जिस तरीके से जीवी सर ने और अच्युत सर ने आंसर किया कि हाउ टू एनकरेज, इट इज़ लाइक मैं अभी ऐसा सोचता हूँ कि काश ऐसा हुआ होता तो मैं काफ़ी पहले इस कैलीग्राफी जर्नी में इंटरवीन कर सकता था, आ सकता था. सो बीइंग फ्रॉम डिज़ाइन बैकग्राउंड ऑल्सो, मैं कैलीग्राफी को सीरियसली मैंने 17-18 के अराउंड परस्यू करना स्टार्ट किया. सो जैसा आपने पूछा मुझसे कि टूल कैसे इंटरेस्ट पैदा कर सकते हैं, सो उस टाइम पे मेरे पास बहुत सारे रिसोर्सेस नहीं थे कि किस तरीके से स्टार्ट किया जाए. तो मैं कुछ पेजेस थे ऑनलाइन, कुछ यूट्यूब पे, तो मैंने उनको फॉलो करना शुरू किया. फिर मैंने देखा कि सभी लोग एक तरीके की चीज़ें प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हैं. कोई लैटिन में कर रहा है तो लैटिन ही कर रहा है, कोई देवनागरी कर रहा है. देवनागरी के तो बहुत कम एग्जाम्पल मिले. अच्युत सर के कुछ पोस्टर्स मुझे मिले थे लॉन्ग बैक पहले भी. और तो सभी लोग सिर्फ लिख रहे हैं और वो प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हैं, अक्षर सभी लोग वही चीज़ प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हैं. और मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा था कि मैं कैसे स्टार्ट करूं, मैं कहाँ से शुरू करूं. सो दैट वाज अ पिन पॉइंट फॉर मी. सो बिकॉज मैं इलस्ट्रेशंस भी करता हूं, तो इलस्ट्रेशंस के लिए हमारे को कॉलेज में सिखाया जाता है कि स्ट्रेट लाइन बनानी है, सर्कल्स करने हैं, एलिप्सिस करने हैं, so अलग अलग तरह की हैंड जेस्चर्स क्रिएट करने हैं. तो मेरे ख्याल से मेरे को वो उस चीज़ ने बहुत हेल्प किया टू क्रिएट फॉर्म्स. सो अभी भी मैं उन फॉर्म्स के साथ प्ले कर रहा होता हूँ. तो समवेयर इलस्ट्रेशन, ड्राइंग स्किल्स प्लस लेटर फॉर्म्स, तो and with the help of tools, then I started observing. तो मुझे ये समझ में आया कि मुझे वो चीज़ नहीं करनी. आई मीन जो लोग कर रहे हैं ऑलरेडी इतना मास्टर कर चुके हैं, सो मैं उसमें कुछ नया नहीं कर पाऊंगा. देन आई स्टार्टेड ऑब्जर्विंग हाउ पीपल होल्ड देयर टूल्स. सो वो मेरे लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट था. मुझे अभी ऐसा रियलाइज होता है कि किस तरीके से वो पेन को या ब्रश को या पॉइंटेड पेन को होल्ड कर रहे थे. तो मैंने कहा कि अगर हम इसको ऐसे पकड़ के होल्ड करते हैं, ट्राइपॉड ग्रिप में होल्ड करते हैं, अपराइट पोजीशन में होल्ड करते हैं, तो उससे कैसे स्ट्रोक्स बनते हैं, किस तरीके का फॉर्मेशन होता है. तो मेरे लिए बहुत इंट्रीगिंग था. फिर मैंने वहां से आई स्टार्टेड एक्सप्लोरिंग अपराइट एंड अलग अलग एंगल से मैंने स्टार्ट किया. एंड जब वो करना स्टार्ट किया, सिंस मुझे थोड़ी सी स्किल थी बिकॉज ऑफ द ड्राइंग, तो मेरी पकड़ अच्छी थी टूल्स पे, तो वो फॉर्म्स बहुत इंटरेस्टिंगली बनने लग गए. तो मेरा वो जो आया था उसमें जो फॉर्मेशन हो रहे थे, एंड फिर लेटर्स को उस तरीके से एक्सपीरियंस करना, उस तरीके से ड्रॉ करना, तो मेरे लिए बहुत फन था. तो मेरे ख्याल से जैसे सर ने बोला कि अर्ली स्टेज में करना चाहिए इंट्रोड्यूस कैलीग्राफी, विच इज़ वेरी ट्रू. तो वहां से अगर विजुअली अगर उनको दिमाग में ऐसा आ जाता है कि ये चीजें हैं, तो फर्दर वो इम्प्रोवाइज कर सकते हैं. एंड एक चीज मैं और इसमें ऐड करना चाहूंगा कि हमारे पास कैलीग्राफी मास्टर्स बहुत सारे हैं, पर उनके ऊपर डॉक्यूमेंटेशन नहीं है हमारे पास जिसको हम रेफर कर सके. इंडियन कैलीग्राफर एज पर से मैं बात करूं तो अगर हम उसकी उनकी जर्नी, और होता है कि जैसे क्रिकेटर होता है तो हमको पता है कि क्रिकेट खेलेगा तो वो टीवी पे आएगा और उसको बहुत सारे प्राइजेस मिलेंगे, बहुत सारी ग्रोथ होती है. तो हम एज ए कैलीग्राफर जो कैलीग्राफी ऑलरेडी कर रहे हैं, तो अगर ऐसा कुछ हो जिससे कि पता लगे कि अगर जैसे अच्युत सर हैं, वो कैलीग्राफर हैं, बहुत लोगों को जर्नी नहीं पता है उनके बारे में, हम अगर खोजने जाते हैं तो मिलती है, ऑलरेडी अवेलेबल नहीं है हमारे पास. तो अगर कुछ ऐसी जर्नी, कुछ ऐसे नोटेबल वर्क्स, कुछ इजीली एसेसिबल हो स्कूल्स के बच्चों के लिए, कॉलेज के बच्चों के लिए, वो इंफॉर्मेशन मेरे ख्याल से अगर हो तो थोड़ा इसमें हेल्प हो सकता है. थैंक यू.
Thank you so much.
Very good point, Dilbag.
Yeah. जैसे
Definitely.
स्पोर्ट्स पर्सन्स के ऊपर मूवी बनता है, वैसे कैलीग्राफर्स के ऊपर भी
एग्जैक्टली
बनना चाहिए.
देयर शुड बी समथिंग इंस्पायरिंग टू देम.
अरे वो कहते हैं ना, किसी चीज के लिए इच्छा आपके मन में जगी है ना, तो वो चीजें होने के लिए कहीं ना कहीं शिद्दत शुरू हो जाती है. तो वो मेरे ख्याल से शुरू हो जाएगी इसके बाद.
I hope TSI becomes a point of initiation for that.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Calligraphers get so much recognition.
Yeah.
Yeah, continuing with the same question, I would like to move to Tarun sir. Over to you, Tarun sir.
See, I think, you know, um, we saw these three young people, you know, sharing their journeys and their work earlier today, you know. We looked at um, how Nikhil and, you know, Sanjana and Rupali, their own journeys and how they really worked with a high degree of commitment and passion, you know. And what Achyut sir also said कि seriously हमें लेना चाहिए. Now what we need to understand is कि क्या होता क्या है, you know. I agree fully with the fact that documentation is important, resources should be accessible, and we all have a collective responsibility to do that kind of uh, documentation, that kind of sharing of our experiences, or you know, getting funds and investing in generating those resources. Raghunita is you know, taken a lot of important firm steps on it. Achyut sir and many others have been doing it for years. But the fact is that how do we come together and use the technology of the day or social media or whatever means of communication to stay connected and to advance the community itself. So say, for example, in a school situation like what Professor Sreekumar was also pointing, you know, we also need to take calligraphy to a level where it is presented in the classroom as an alternative to drawing and art and craft and paper craft and all those kind of things, right? So the point is, how do we then empower and train the teachers at that level? Who could be the first point of interaction with the students where something like calligraphy is introduced to these young students? Now, the second thing which I wanted to, you know, share is from the parents' perspective, right? And today we also need to be very, very mindful of the fact that the new education policy, the new national education policy, is giving a lot of importance to extracurricular activities and vocational skills also. So while there are conventional vocational skills like woodwork, embroidery, stitching work, and all those things, there are very few which are looking at visual arts. You know, as a matter of fact, you know, a couple of years ago, the art teachers training program was also dropped from the government's this thing, right? We are all aware of that. बट एक पेरेंट के नजरिए से अगर हम देखते हैं तो उनके मन में क्या आता है? अच्छा, हॉबी है, either you get into competitive sports or you get into some kind of a craft, ड्राइंग कर लो, पेंटिंग कर लो, गाना सीख लो, कोई एक म्यूजिकल इंस्ट्रूमेंट बजाना सीख लो. Why? Because these are also activities which a parent feels happy when their child is demonstrating it in front of their this thing, you know. I don't mean to offend anybody, but all of us have gone through this thing when we were younger, right? बेटा आंटी अंकल को पोएम सुनाओ, ये गाना बहुत अच्छा गाता है, इसको गाना गा के सुनाओ. कोई पेरेंट ये नहीं बोलेगा कि बेटा इनको कैलीग्राफी करके दिखाओ. But whenever there is something at home, that child will be expected कि ये बहुत अच्छे से लिखता है, कैलीग्राफी लिखता है, बेटा आप सबके उसमें लिख दो. We need to be prepared when the world starts discarding technology created homogeneity. आप देखिए, even though Telegram and the Indian postal system is currently going through a certain situation, but more and more people have started writing letters to each other. Obviously, because the text on the mobile or on the computer screen is very cold. उसमें वो warmth नहीं है, उसमें वो अपनापन नहीं है.
Yeah, correct.
And the other thing which I feel is awareness and acknowledgement. And other people will not acknowledge the calligraphers or people who have a love for letter forms if we do not acknowledge each other. It is, of course, there is always a competition, but what has happened, thanks to Achyut ji, thanks to many other people, Raghunita, कि competition को side में रख के, we need to share our experiences, we need to share our knowledge, right? I recall when I started 35 days of Gurmukhi, I had not even imagined the level it would reach where it has reached today, right? We have people participating from at least 17 different countries They are native speakers, they are not native speakers, somebody is relative, somebody is married into a Punjabi family, but we are all connecting because we are trying to rediscover our cultural roots through letter forms. Calligraphy is also happening as a part of it, right? So my point here is that calligraphy is one of the important aspects to help us reconnect with our own mother script, मातृभाषा बोल लें, मदर लैंग्वेज बोल लें, हमारे अपने रूट्स, बिकॉज वी बीन मूविंग अक्रॉस, राइट? पिताजी कहीं और काम कर रहे थे, उनके चक्कर में हम कहीं और चले गए, वहां चले गए. You know, the way the future of communities and the way the future of families are going to be, it is going to become much more important that how do we use language, the written word, as an important element which will help us connect with people.
Yeah.
So काम शुरू हुआ है, and I am sure a lot more people would join in this movement. When I look at so many things happening, WhatsApp groups, Instagram lives, offline sessions, and we are meeting today, Sulekhan, tomorrow, so many other events are happening across the country. There are other events which are lined up down this year, and I'm sure 23, 24, 25, 2 years down the line, when if you will ask the same question, we would perhaps look back with a lot of pride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. So
तो
that's so. Thank you.
सो इसके लिए
Thank you so
ना ये
much,
बोला
sir.
जा सकता है कि इसके लिए ये बोला जा सकता है कि जब एक पूरे बहुत बड़े आप कॉन्फ्रेंस हॉल में बैठे और किसी को आपने पूछा कि व्हाट इज कैलीग्राफी, क्या किया है पिछले 5 साल में, तो कितने लोग जानते हैं कैलीग्राफी के लिए, हाथ खड़ा करें. और वहां पूरा हो जब ऑडिटोरियम हाथ उठाएगा, दैट विल बी द पॉइंट जब हम कहेंगे कि हाँ कैलीग्राफी की अवेयरनेस के ऊपर इंडिया में काम हुआ है.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much, sir. And
One
like
day
you,
one school student will say, "Well, what do you want to become?" One school student will say, "I want to become a calligrapher."
Calligrapher.
That
Absolutely.
is the
Right.
day
yeah,
we
Right,
will
right.
define
Definitely.
what is the
Bilkul.
future of calligraphy.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
yeah. Like Tarun sir rightly pointed out, like some of the inspiration from the earlier talks, and I think Sanjana Chatlani also have been an inspiration for me. I have seen the birth and growth of Bombay Lettering Company,
Yeah.
and like quitting a job and taking up calligraphy as a full-time
As a
career
full-time vocation.
at
Raghunita
peak
also.
of
Raghunita was
yes,
also quit her job.
yes, of course. So like examples like this have been I think inspiration for people, and hopefully people will see them as inspiration and at a younger age say that yeah, I want to be a calligrapher. Yeah, so continuing the question, I would like to move to Hiral ma'am, and over to you, Hiral ma'am.
Yeah. So first of all, I can say we see academic part is important, but as well as calligraphy should reach to common people also, because in my neighbor, if I say them that I'm doing calligraphy or I'm a calligrapher, they don't know actually. Even senior citizen also, अच्छा क्या होता है, and younger people, अच्छा मुझे गूगल करना पड़ेगा. So वो academic, डिजाइन फॉर्म एंड आर्ट गैलरी से भी बाहर निकलकर कॉमन पब्लिक तक जाना चाहिए. ईच एंड एवरीवन शुड नो व्हाट इज कैलीग्राफी. और उसके लिए क्या करना है, यू कैन टेक म्यूनिसिपैलिटी स्कूल, स्टार्ट विद द रूट्स फ्रॉम योर ओन सिटी, from your own village. Take small schools and give demonstration, give talk, take basic workshop to the kids. So that is first encouragement. And approach to seriousness, I believe that should come from within, as per my observation. You can't force anyone. Yeah, but to get interested, you need to show them various aspects of calligraphy through videos, through books, through senior calligraphers' work. So I think that will be more encouragement for the students and younger generation. And I think Dilbag and Tarun sir rightly said key resources should be available. What was the journey of the senior calligrapher that younger generations should know? Then only there will be a light in their mind.
So I would like to add something to
Sure.
Hiral ji से कि वो जर्नी कब होना चाहिए, हमें पता होना चाहिए. बट कई बार क्या होता है ना कि मेरे से कई बार सवाल करते हैं कि इससे होगा क्या, आप कर रहे हो कैलीग्राफी, इससे होगा क्या. लाइक आई कैन रिलेट इट टू, क्योंकि मैं डिजाइन बैकग्राउंड से हूँ, तो आई कैन यूटिलाइज इट इन मेनी वेज, इन इलस्ट्रेशन, इन लोगो डिजाइन, ब्रांडिंग एंड सो मेनी अदर वेज. बट जो नया है, जिसका डिजाइन फील्ड से कोई रिलेशन ही नहीं, अगर उसको ऐसे पूछा जाए कि चलो ठीक है आप ये सीख रहे हो, पर इससे होगा क्या, करोगे क्या, सो इट्स अ बिग क्वेश्चन. सो मे बी अगर हम उस सवाल को अगर हम थोड़ा सरल तरीके से बता सके लोगों को, तो वो ज्यादा एनकरेजिंग भी होगा और सबके लिए वो
I
बेटर
think
होगा.
you can give in one sentence answer to them कि wherever you are seeing letters, there you have opportunity. That is only one line.
Very rightly said.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I think we are running out of time. So I would like to thank all the panel members and also all the viewers.
But Amit,
Hopefully,
Amit,
yes, yes, sir.
sorry for the
Sure.
interruption. I think Dilbag has asked, am I audible?
Yes,
Yes, yes.
So I think this is also for the viewers, Amit. Dilbag has asked a very, very important question. हमने सुबह भी earlier also we saw 3 young practitioners of calligraphers, you know, who have made calligraphy as a very central core aspect of their professional practice. उनके घर में चूल्हा उनकी calligraphy practice से चलता है. Whether we look at Nikhil, whether we look at Sanjana, or you know, whether we look at Rupali's work, and they're doing good. Now, this is an open call for the viewers. Dilbag's question was, आप calligraphy करते हो तो उससे क्या? Imagine your grandparents are asking you, or imagine that nosy बुआ or that auntie is asking you in the neighborhood, कि बेटा आप calligraphy करते हो तो फिर क्या? I mean, what next? क्या बड़ी बात? So do send us your responses. The email is ID is going to be flashed after this session, or you can also get in touch with us on our Instagram. We would like to know your views on what do you feel कि calligraphy करके क्या होगा. Some of the views our panelists have shared, you know, मन की शांति मिलती है, अच्छे से लिखे हुए अक्षर देखते हैं, तो even for a moment one feels good about it, right? It gives you a good vibe, it gives you a good feeling.
Right.
But do connect with us, do let us know. Yeah, thank you so much. Yes, Amit.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you to the viewers who are watching us. And I hope all the thoughts and all the ideas here discussed reach to a lot of people and get benefited in the realm of calligraphy. Thank you, everyone.
And the Typography Society of India, on behalf of the Typography Society of India and the organizing committee, and on behalf of Professor Tarun and Dr. Uday Kumar and Chiral, I would like to convey our deep gratitude to all of you for joining us in this panel discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Jai Hind.
Thank you, everyone.
Jai Hind.
Jai Hind. Jai
Jai
Hind.
Hind.
And hope to see some of you guys in Delhi tomorrow.
Yeah.
Our best wishes for the event.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much, sir.
best
Thank you
wishes
so
to
much.
Raghunita.
Akshar Mahotsav. Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much. We are waiting for you, sir.
Yes.
Okay,
Let it be the new landmark event.
Yeah.
We'll try, sir. We'll try our little best.
Thank you, Amit, for moderating
Thank you so
questions
much.
for all of us.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Amit.
Thank you.
It's
Thank you so
been
much.
you,
great.
Amit.
To everyone.
Good
Bye-bye.
working to all of you.
Have a good day.
Have a good
Thank
day.
you.
Bye. Thank you.